Breaking news. After an extensive review of operations of the Jackie Robinson West Little League International has determined that they knowingly violated rules and regulations by placing players on their team who did not qualify to play because they lived outside the team's boundaries. The Little League Tournament Committee has decided to vacate all wins from the 2014 Little League Baseball World Series for that team, including its Great Lakes Regional and United States Championships, and suspended team manager Daryl Butler from the Little League activity. Let's listen to the president speak on the situation.
We had to do this. We had no choice. We have to maintain the integrity of the Little League program. Certainly no one should cast any blame, any aspersions on the children who participated on this team. To the best of our knowledge, they had no knowledge that they were doing anything wrong, and they were just kids out playing baseball, which is obviously the way it should be. They were celebrated for that by many organizations, many people, and you know, so what we're most concerned about today is it's going to be hard on these kids, and that's the part that breaks our hearts.
Well, it's well said, Stephen A. The children have to pay for adults' mistakes. What's your reaction to this?
I'm in pain over this one, to be quite honest with you, because of those kids. They're innocent in all of this. By all accounts, they were of age. They came together as a team. They just went out there and they compete. And obviously, Monet Davis, we loved her. We loved what we saw from her and what have you. And, you know, people bring stuff like that up, and you see these stories, and it just resonates with you in such a profoundly positive way. And the adults screw it up because of, you know, starving for notoriety, starving for recognition, starving to win, and willing to sell kids' dreams out in order to pull it off. If there can be good news taken from this, it's a couple of things. Number one, this Little League has existed for 75 years. This is only the third time it has happened where they've had to take a move of this measure. Two other times it was primarily due to overaged players participating. One from the Philippines, another one from the Bronx with, you know, I forgot
Almonte.
Almonte, that's it. That's it, Danny Almonte. He was overage. This is the third time this has happened. It doesn't happen every day. It doesn't happen every other year, for crying out loud. It's rare. Number two, let's put their names out here.
Okay.
We got a team manager by the name of Daryl Butler.
Yep.
Suspended from Little League activity. Good. We've got Michael Kelly, Illinois District 4 administrator, removed from his position. Good. Hopefully it'll be permanently, because this is completely and utterly unnecessary. You know, now, and let me also add what really resonates to me and what makes this hurt even more, Skip. This is called the Jackie Robinson West team. Jackie Robinson, as renowned a figure in sports annals as ever there was, responsible for integrating Major League Baseball in 1947, an iconic and revered and deified figure in our community and in American history. You have his name attached to this because it's Jackie Robinson West, okay? First all-African-American team to win the championship. And this is how you did it? Just disgraceful.
It is.
It's a shame. And the only thing we have to be thankful, thank God the kids really had nothing to do with this. They're victims in all of this just as much as anybody else. A bunch of adults and parents who knew better. Parents who knew better decided to do this. Pox on all of their houses. They should all be ashamed of themselves.
So starting with Daryl Butler, they shamed the name of Jackie Robinson.
Yes, they did.
And here we have another fractured fairy tale to deal with. Because it was a fairy tale. And these kids got honored by President Obama at the White House. And I still don't have any problem with that because I think they earned that.
They earned it.
Yeah, they did.
And yet, if only there were a way to keep the adults out of the kids' game. This is the downside to televising on national TV a kid's game, because the adults know that the adults can become at least 15 minutes famous, right?
That's right.
About 15 minutes, you're going to be famous. I knew, I wasn't sure what his name was, but I saw Daryl Butler a lot on national TV during that run, right? I know his face.
I'd like to see it again.
Yeah, maybe we should show it
maybe
again.
let's get a picture of Darrell Butler. Since you want to sit there and throw kids into the wind like this, if it was somebody else, if it was a professional athlete, if one of these kids had gotten in trouble or something like that, we put their face up. Let's put Darrell Butler and Michael Kelly's face up on national television. Treat it like the mugshot it deserves to be treated like. How about that?
This story also says that there were other local league officials in Chicago who knew of these violations but did not speak up. I guess you can't condemn them for that. But they knew, and they didn't speak up until they had to when they got questioned by officials from the larger Little League organization. So, in the end, what I hate the most about this, Stephen A., is that, help me out here, do you think some of these kids knew that they were crossing boundaries they weren't supposed to cross? Again, the parents were saying do it, the manager is saying do it, but you're sending such a bad message to kids. Surely some of the kids, they know the rules.
Yeah,
they knew they weren't
but they don't know
in this district. They don't know any better.
Because they're kids.
So mom or dad or Darrell Butler says, it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
This is just the way we're going to do it. We'll get this done. We need to go win this. We're the Jackie Robinson, blah, blah, blah. You know? We'll
Usually
take a bad message.
Usually in the case of kids, you don't necessarily know. You might suspect, but then somebody says to you, no, we're taking care of that. It's okay.
It's okay.
And you move on because you're a kid.
Right.
You're a kid. But the adults knew.
They knew.
The parents knew. The coach, the administrator, they knew.
Yep.
And they did it anyway, hoping that folks would never find out while they got their 15 minutes of fame. They didn't think about the kids. They thought about themselves. The parents have to prove in Little League play, Skip. Parents have to prove where they live. So what I'm saying to you is that there's been some falsified documentation or something going on here because you knowingly engaged in deceit.
You did.
So you could have your kid play ineligibly.
Yeah.
Inexcusable.
All right.
Inexcusable.
Point of order, Jackie Robinson West is the third All-African-American team.
Yes.
We leave it there. Again, it is unfortunate that the children do have to pay for these adult mistakes.
Okay.
Coming up next, folks, we switch gears. Dez or DeMarco or both? What should the Cowboys do this offseason? That's a tough question, but the gentlemen have the answers. We'll return in just a few moments.